Hi kids, it's Mr. Massey. I am going to teach you how to convert between types of units. And I'm going to start with one that's pretty basic. I'm going to say 3 hours. How many minutes is that? Well, in order to know this, I need to know the relationship between hours and minutes. And as you should know, 1 hour is 60 minutes. Now, how can I write it? Well, I'm going to write it as a ratio. If you know that you can multiply by 1, which you should know, check out a fun way of writing 1. Okay, I've written here 1 hour over 60 minutes. Those are equivalent amounts, so we have the same top and bottom. That is a fraction that's equal to 1. Okay, it's a fancy way of, let's say, just writing 3 over 3, right? Same top and bottom, equal to 1. Now, the way that we do it, it's super handy. Now, what we want to do here, though, is we want to multiply 3 hours by one of these so that the hours that's here on top, and by the way, this is like over 1, right? You can always put something over 1 and to turn it into a fraction. And we have hours on top. We want to cancel the hours out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to multiply by this fraction right here, okay? If we do that, we say that times that, and what we're doing is we are canceling out the units. Hour here and hour here cancels out, leaving us with these units as part of our answer. And what happens when we multiply 3 times 60? We find 3 times 60 to be 180, so we have our answer of 180 minutes. 180 minutes. Yep. Let's keep going with that idea. Big idea here, if you are going to write the relationship between the two units, the units that you are starting with, hours, and the units that you want to end up with, minutes, you have to write it as a ratio like this so that whatever here is on top has that same units on the bottom to cancel out. Let's try it. Now suppose we want to convert something that's mixed units, like 3 pounds, 4 ounces, all into ounces. Well, these are already ounces. We need to just convert this into ounces and then add these extra 4 ounces on. What is the relationship between pounds and ounces? You may or may not know, but 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Let's write it as a ratio. So here we've got the ratio, 1 pound is 16 ounces. But if I was to take this 3 pounds and try and convert it, you'll see, oops, the pounds and the pounds are on top, right? If we multiply there, we don't cancel out pounds. I don't want to write it like this. I want to write it in reverse with 16 ounces on top and 1 pound on the bottom so that pound cancels pound. Let's change that. Okay, now when we multiply, we can say, aha, we can cancel pounds and pounds. And what do we get? Now we just have 3 times 16, or 48 ounces, plus these other 4 ounces. And what does that equal? It equals 52 ounces. There you go. Okay, so sometimes when you have mixed units, you need to change part of it into the same as the other part of it, like that. Now, sometimes you might be comparing two amounts and they are of different units, and you need to know which one's bigger, or are they the same? Okay, which one's bigger, or are they the same? We need to know, again, what the relationship is between ounces and pounds. Turns out 1 pound is 16 ounces. And what are we going to convert? Well, why don't we change these to ounces, these pounds to ounces, and see what we get. So I know that I need to set it up correctly by having the units on the opposite sides of the fraction bar, top and bottom. So now I've done it correctly, 16 ounces and 1 pound, so that pounds here on top and pounds here on the bottom cancel. What I'm be left with? I'm going to be left with ounces, and you can see that if I do 3 times 16, I get 48, and it's 48 ounces. That means 3 pounds is the same as 48 ounces. So if I was to compare 48 ounces now with 50 ounces, you can easily compare them and say, of course, 50 ounces is greater, so therefore that is the greater amount. And in the original problem here, that's the answer. Okay. Now you may run into a problem where you don't know the direct relationship. I don't know how many seconds is in an hour, so I can't directly set that up to solve it, okay? But I do know how many minutes are in an hour and how many seconds are in a minute. So I can actually set up multiple ratios and we can solve it out using multiple steps. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so I can take the relationship between hours and minutes. 1 hour is 60 minutes, and I've set it up correctly where the hours on the bottom will cancel these hours on the top. But I don't want to be left with minutes. I want to cancel minutes as well and eventually get to seconds. Okay, so I have this relationship here. Uh-oh, I didn't actually write it in the correct position. I want minutes on the bottom. Let me change that. Now when I multiply, I cancel hours and hours. I can cancel minutes and minutes. And then what do I have? I have 8 times 60, which is 480, times 60. Okay? There's a fun math fact that if you multiply numbers that have zeros on the end, you can temporarily drop off these zeros and add that exact many zeros to the solution. So I'm going to just calculate here 6 times 8, 48, carry the 4. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 8, 28. And I will now add back those two zeros that I dropped off. And we find that the answer is 28,800. And what is the units? The units are whatever units were left uncanceled. And as you can see, it is seconds. And there we have our answer. Sometimes we're converting between systems. This system with inches, feet, and all of that is the customary system that is used in Britain and the United States, in the DR a little bit. And here is the metric system that is used in most of the world, okay? Now, we need to know what is the relationship between inches and centimeters. And although this one's not perfect, it is approximately this. 1 inch is approximately 2.54 centimeters. And you can see this wavy equals line because it's not exact, but we're going to use that as such. Now, how do we set it up? Well, we are going to convert inches into centimeters, so we need to cancel inches. That must be on the bottom. We still essentially follow the same rules here. We're going to cancel inches and inches. And what are we left with? We're left with the units centimeters. And this where you just have to do the math. You might know that when you multiply a decimal number by 10, it moves the decimal over one place. And what we get then is 25.4, and we get 25.4 centimeters. Okay, last one, and this is going to be fun because what we're doing here is we're going to convert a whole bunch of different things. We're going to convert miles into feet, we're going to convert hours into minutes, and then we're going to convert minutes into seconds. We need to find the relationships between all of those and start to set them up. We'll do it one at a time and see what else we need to do. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to convert miles into feet. And you can always check with me if you're unsure about a value, but it is 1 mile is 5,280 feet. I'm going to set that up now with miles on the bottom. Okay, now what do we have to do? Well, we want to turn hours first into minutes. And notice that hours is on the bottom. So our conversion of hours to minutes will have hours on top. Let's do that. Great. We see that we can cancel hours with hours when we finally do our canceling. But what about the next bit? We now have minutes on the bottom, but we want to end up with seconds on the bottom. So we're going to do the conversion between minutes and seconds. 1 minute is 60 seconds, and minutes will need to go on top to cancel. Let's do that. Great. We've got that all set up correctly. Let's see what happens when we start to go through and cancel all of this, okay? Let's cancel units first, just to make sure that we set it up right. Miles cancels miles, great. Hours cancels hours, terrific. Minutes cancels minutes, super. And what do we have left for units on top? We have feet, which is what we want here. And we have seconds on the bottom, which is what we want here. Great, now we're dealing with numbers that we need to cancel. What can we cancel? Well, I can see a 60 here and a 60 here. Let me get a better color that you can see it. Let's try orange. 60 here and 60 here can cancel, okay? What numbers do we have left? Well, if those both cancel the exact same number, they're gonna come to 1, okay? And the only numbers that are not 1, then, that we have to try and figure out how to cancel are these numbers here, 5,280 and 60 right here. So I'm going to write them down here to see what we can do to cancel them. Okay. Certainly we can divide them both by 10, and now we've got 528 and 6. And I can do that up here. Let me erase my marks here and here, and I can say, okay, we could do an intermediate step of saying that 60 now becomes a 6, that 5,280 becomes a 528. And let's keep looking at these two numbers down here. They're both even, so I can cancel them by a factor of 2, and I can get, let's say half of 500 rather is 250, half of 28 is 14, so they will go together to be 264 on the top, and if I divide the bottom as well by 2, I get a 3. Okay? Can that top number be divided by 3? If you remember your division of 3 rules, we say if we can add the numbers together and it's a multiple of 3, we can divide it by 3. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Yeah, that's a multiple of 3. We should be able to divide this. So I'm just going to divide it down on the bottom. 264 divided by 3. 24, that's 8. 2, bring down the 4. 3 goes into 24 another 8 times. That is also 24. It goes in perfectly. Great. That means those will cancel. The ones in blue up top here, that canceled, by the way, to a 3 when this one canceled to 264. And we can cancel again one more time, dividing them both by 3. That becomes a 1. That becomes an 88. And therefore, what do we have left? We have left these values. 88 for feet and 1 for seconds. So instead of saying for every 1 second, we just 88 feet per second. And that's what we get for an answer as a final answer. 60 miles an hour is equivalent to 88 feet per second. It's pretty neat. Okay, let's do some practice with these. You'll find practice on the daily learning page. So go there and look at your problem set for the day. Good luck.